Happy Wednesday. Come on in and join me for another inspired fireside chat. Today we have with us Jeannie Glasstetter, and we will be talking about how to find balance in life. It's not only related to, work and family, but also your hobbies, your passions, being able to eat properly, even being able to rest and do nothing. My name is Paola Shah. I am the founder and CEO of Tockets. Tockets are high-performance grip socks that enhance the foot-brain connection and give you confidence to step in any barefoot activity. Sorry, I went downstairs to find what was the issue because you couldn't listen to me before, and I found the issue that was running. Anyway, I'm so happy to be here for another weekly fireside chat. Just remember that here at Tockets, our mission is to elevate you through your feet. And Jenny's here. I hope now this works. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I know. I don't know.
Fabulous.
I know what happened. I was listening to a podcast while I was walking my dog earlier.
Oh,
and
yes.
I left my headsets.
I have done that before.
Yeah, somewhere in the, very far from where I am.
Yeah, no idea where the noise went, but yep.
Okay.
It happened to me too.
Oh, well, anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Yes, so, and this is such a wonderful subject what we're going to talk about.
Good.
Finding, balance, like a real balance in life. So, Jenny, I always ask my guests to introduce themselves because I don't want to miss absolutely anything. So who is Jenny today?
Okay, so that's kind of a big question. Yeah. My name's Jeannie, and I am a Pilates instructor and personal trainer. I have 2 kids. They're young. They're 6 and 8. And that's kind of me in a very general term. I also am, a lot went into getting to this point in my life. I used to be a graphic designer, very unhappy with my life. And I've just really found happiness with being able to move my body and showing other people how to move their bodies and live a healthy lifestyle that's balanced, hopefully. That's kind of what we're talking about too. And all those things that were me before have led me to this point now, and I'm just so grateful for that. But where I am now, I'm extremely happy with my life and where I am and where I'm going, because I still see there's so much potential. It's kind of funny. I just turned 40 this year, and I finally feel like I'm in my groove. Like, it took me 40 years to get here. So I'm just starting. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
And this is great that you're saying that, because I feel like I'm 42, turning 43 next week. And I feel like as we get older, or I get older, I love myself more. Mm-hmm. I enjoy life even more. Sure, there are different challenges, but right. I think actually aging is amazing. It's so beautiful.
Isn't it kind of cool? You always think about getting old as a negative thing, but now that you're here and you're enjoying it, it's actually such a positive thing.
Right. So mm-hmm. I love it. So let's talk a bit about what happened before that led you to that change, right? Because you're a graphic designer, you have a certain lifestyle. So what were the triggers or the turning points that you said, hey, I need to stop here and, rebalance everything?
Well, I knew that where I was not fulfilling, and I would wake up in the morning just dreading going into work. Sitting at a desk every day was super challenging for me because it hurt my body. It literally, I was on the computer all day. As a graphic designer, you're always using the mouse and drawing things. And I was getting carpal tunnel in my hand, and it was traveling up into my shoulder. And then the sitting constantly was tough. I took the train into the city, so that was an hour each way. Then you would sit at your desk for 8 hours. And the social aspect was I was really missing that as well. So not only was I physically not doing well in that situation, I mentally was not in a good spot. I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel like I was helping people. And I kind of feel that when I'm helping others, I get a lot of enjoyment. And so by not helping people, I was actually like hurting myself. So finally, after, I changed a couple different positions, thinking maybe it's just a job. Maybe I need to be at a different company. But it ended up not being that. It ended up being I am just not in the right field for what I need to be passionate about. And so that's when I started making those changes. And it was kind of scary because I had just gone to school for all these years to be a graphic designer. But I did it. And I'm really proud of myself for actually taking that jump, because that's not like me. I'm usually, just follow the way you're supposed to go type of girl. So I just started making some little changes. I started working in a running store. I'm like, oh, maybe if I work at a running store and I can get, my fill in there, I'll be okay. So I was doing that on the side. And like, yeah, I loved it, but it still wasn't enough because I still was going into work and not enjoying myself. So that's when I started to make the complete shift, and I became a personal trainer, and I did that for a good handful of years. And then I decided to get my certification in Pilates. And so now I'm Pilates certified reformer and mat certified. So I've been doing that for about 12 years now, I guess. So yeah, a complete shift in my life. But I knew that the turning point was when I just knew that I was not happy. And I knew if I kept doing what I was doing, I was never going to be happy. So it was time. It was definitely time.
So who are you certified with?
For Pilates, I'm with Balance Body.
Balance Body. Okay, great. And then, so how has been that transition to be full fitness instructor, coach, etc.? And what else have you found there beyond just teaching Pilates?
I have learned, one, that there are so many connections you can make with people, and you think you're helping them in a physical way, but in reality, you're helping them in so many other aspects of your life, especially when I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. When I first began personal training, I didn't realize how much I affected these people. They would go home and talk about me to their husbands and kids, and I would meet them somewhere and like, oh, this is Jeannie. Like, oh, Jeannie, we know you. We've heard all about you. I'm like, really? I didn't realize that. So it really showed me that you can make these amazing connections, and you help the person not just on their outside physical, appearance, but just in every aspect of their lives. And that's what I enjoy the most when I'm working with everybody.
So when you had your kids, were you already doing Pilates, or that was before Pilates?
I did. So I was doing personal training and then Pilates. And I was a Pilates coordinator at our at the club I was at. I was like full force. I was in where I wanted to be career-wise.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Do you hear the rain?
Yes.
Like, it's raining so hard that I feel like
I thought it was a fan. Yeah.
Like, it's raining. Usually it doesn't rain that hard. It's raining super, super hard.
Springtime.
But, okay, well, we're going to have the rain be, as the background music.
Background music, exactly, yeah.
I may need to move. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I may interrupt with this, but I feel like the sound is so, the sound is so strong.
As soon as you move,
like,
it's going to stop.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, okay.
1 second. I'm sorry. I have to do something totally unexpected, because otherwise it's going. Yeah, here I think it's way better. I'm going to find a different spot in the house. We were surrounded with so many windows. Okay. Okay. It's not my usual spot, but
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
better. Sorry,
Good.
I couldn't really hear anything.
Oh no. Okay. No, that sounds better for sure.
Okay, we're talking about your kids, that you
Oh
have your
yeah.
kids
So I was
before
a
doing
personal
Pilates.
trainer and then I was a Pilates instructor as well. And I was like full force, just I was in a groove. I had my schedule perfect. I was working, I worked really hard to build up my schedule. I would start at 6 in the morning. I was done at 2 in the afternoon, and it was great. Like that was my schedule, and it was in a good spot. But I knew when I had my kids that I needed to change that focus, and I wasn't going to be able to be full time anymore. It's just that was my choice. I know a lot of people want that. It just wasn't what I wanted. And so I went down to part time, and I stayed home with my son. I had my son first, and I stayed home with him. And I remember the first day going back after my maternity leave, I was just crying. I was like, I can't leave him. I'm so sad. And, my mom was watching him even. It's not like I had to take him anywhere, but I was just, I was so sad. But then once I got into work, I was like, yes, I'm so happy to be here, And then right when work was over, I would just rush home to be home with him because I missed him, So it definitely takes some getting used to. And we had some challenges because I had to put him in daycare, and he absolutely hated it. And I would drop him off and he would just cry. And then I would sit in the car and cry. So it was very hard for us. But I stuck with it. And then I had my daughter 2 years later. And luckily I had some family in the area who was helping out there. My mom and my mother-in-law would help out and watch the kids for me when I would go into work. So that was huge too for me because I felt really confident that they were in good hands, and I could, they could get their grandma
Mhm.
time, and I could be busy at work and not feel guilty. So I had a really good balance there. It was definitely the right thing for me. I tried to quit for a while because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay home with my kids. My husband traveled all the time. He was in grad school. It was crazy. So I actually tried to quit it was about a month, and I was like, I can't do it. I need to work at least sometime to make myself
Right.
feel good. So that's when I knew I needed that balance. I needed that family time. I needed the work time, and now we're in a good groove. Now we've got things, it's on autopilot. So it's great.
And another part that I have noticed that for you is very important to find balance is food.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's one of the hardest part because you kind of, yes, you try to work out, you stay with your kids, or like
Mm-hmm.
you try to spend some time with your kids, be in charge of the house or work, whatever anyone does.
Right.
But I think one of the things that we sacrifice the most is food, good food.
Mm-hmm.
It's eating, right? And maybe
Yes.
sometimes it's we skip meals, or we eat really bad, and then suddenly one day we eat a lot, and we eat everything that we didn't eat in a week.
Right.
So how do you find that balance? How
Yeah.
how how do you do in order not to compromise food?
So, when you have young kids, it's really hard. Sometimes you are lucky just to be able to get a real meal in. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot of just making mindful choices. Like, yes, might not be the best choice, but or this might not be a perfect choice, but the choices that I do have, what's the best choice for me right now? So, for example, if you're out with your kids and you have to pick up lunch, okay, well, you've got three different choices of restaurants you can pick. Which one is going to give me the option of a, trying to get the most balanced meal in you? So it does require some work and some internal strength to fight having the french fries and the chicken fingers that your kids are eating sometimes. It does definitely, you have to have a little bit of that strength and willpower to pick the choices that are better for you. But it's doable, and it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. It's just do what you can do right now to make the healthy choice. And that's how I kind of started it all when my kids were young. Just, okay, it's not perfect, but what is the best option for right at this moment? And that seemed to work well for me, for sure.
So like a very basic question, but I think for many people there is a different definition, and it's
Mhm.
what's a balanced lifestyle?
Balance. Well, you know what? This everyone's lifestyle is going to be different. Like I said, I knew that going into work every day wasn't going to make me feel balanced. So I needed to be home some of the time. And then I thought, oh, maybe being home all the time is going to make me feel good. And then that wasn't a good balance either. So you have to find what works well for you and for your family and really be honest with yourself. Because there's a lot that goes into having a balanced lifestyle, right? You know, you have your exercise, you have your nutrition, you have your family needs, you have the household that you need to keep up and hopefully keep a little bit clean sometimes, which can be a challenge too. But yeah, everyone's life is going to be different in terms of what a balanced lifestyle means. And sometimes you just have to really take a look at your life and see what is going to make you feel even.
Right. For me, something that I have learned is part of that balanced lifestyle is actually have time to do nothing.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I think we are always in the rush, in the daily rush, in the
Mm-hmm.
rush of doing many things. And even if we have time to do like free time, what do we do with our free time?
Right.
We start reading, we start watching TV, we start doing, but actually doing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
like wasting time, like just being, seated or like do nothing, like let your body and literally brain
Turn
rest.
off.
Right, turn off, like do
Yeah.
nothing. Like it can be 5 minutes, it can be
Mm-hmm.
20, depends how much, but I think it's one of the most difficult things to do.
I think you're right. I do. Sometimes with my clients, I have them do this breathing exercise where you just take 5 minutes, you sit in a quiet space, and you just focus on your breathing just to calm down and to kind of recenter. And it is hard for them to do it. It's really challenging. And um, if you don't think about it, you could go months without finding that time for yourself. But I think you're right. It definitely is a good thing for your body and your mind to just be able to turn off for a little while.
And do nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
hard. It's hard to find that time.
And then, so let's go back to the Pilates world.
Sure.
Um, while doing Pilates, it was like the idea of Tuckets was born.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking at people, changing socks or wearing socks and what was happening with their feet, and for me to lose that kind of feeling of being barefoot by covering the toes and the entire foot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came to realize, thanks to Pilates, the importance of feet,
Mm-hmm.
how much the foot brain connection is activated by, of course, moving our feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so from your experience, what the feet mean to you? What Pilates has shown you about the importance of the feet and paying attention to our feet?
Right. So, it's funny you say that because I didn't used to really think too much about the feet. You do footwork and you kind of just go through the motions, but I've really in the last few years been able to focus in a little bit and tweak more about the different positions of your feet and just by changing the pressure, like say on the ball of your foot to more of the ball of the big toe versus the pinky toe, how it can change the muscles in your entire leg. And it's really a cool thing that something so small can just travel up your body and make those differences. And I've noticed in a lot of my clients too that when they're able to find that connection as well, they're able to get deeper into their muscles and into that, Pilates mindset a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I actually really do not like feet at all. So I've learned to be better about them. And I have to say, having socks on feet are amazing because then I don't have to touch their bare feet and it makes me feel so much better. But that's kind of off tangent there, but it's kind of cool how, yes, I don't like to touch them, but if I can just tweak their foot a little bit, just turn it a little bit, and then it moves their leg and it moves it into their joint a little differently. It just shows how much your body is connected and it works from the top down and bottom up all together. And just those little tiny movements can just make such a big difference.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny that because my next question was going to be, what do you think of your own feet? What I have discovered during all, this time, talkets and even, doing these fireside chats is like probably 65% of people don't like their own feet. And yeah, people have this kind of, I wouldn't say weird relationship, but it's just kind of feet are to be put on the side, right?
Yeah.
Like people don't find them beautiful, etc. But I think we're missing so much by not taking care of our feet, right?
Yes.
It's really our foundation. So what do you think of your own feet? Do you like your feet?
I do not like my feet. I don't like anyone's feet. So that is.
You don't like feet.
I just really don't like feet. But I used to run marathons like a ton, and so I've always had like blisters on my feet and calluses, and I'd be that girl that you'd go out to lunch with your girlfriends and I'd have a black toenail. So I don't have the most beautiful feet, and because of all those marathons, I've definitely done some damage to them, for sure. Not just looks wise, but the way they now function. So yeah, that is kind of my my overall view on my feet. They are not pretty. They are not great. I try to cover them up as much as I can.
Wow. And then tell us a bit about you. Where can people find you if someone wants to work with you?
Sure, yeah. I work in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. So I work at a Club Pilates there. And it's a really nice studio. We've got some great instructors there. So I do Pilates there. I also have a reformer in my house. So with all the COVID stuff, I haven't been doing any of that, one-on-one in my house lately. But, and then I also do online virtual coaching as well. So that just started during, the pandemic, and it's been so fun. I've gotten to meet people from all over the country, and I work with them one-on-one, just doing programs that are made specifically for them. So if anyone's interested, you can definitely check me out, and you can do my Instagram page. You can shoot me a DM or something, but that would be.
And then what type of virtual coaching is that?
Mostly personal training, but I do a lot of mat Pilates based exercises in the coaching as well. So it's kind of funny. So I started as a personal trainer, but then I had the Pilates in there. So after I got certified and learned how important it really is, all that Pilates movement, it's completely changed my personal training for sure. It's just, it's like a good mix, I think. Just, it's not, you think about the way you move very differently after you are a Pilates instructor. And so I definitely carry that into my personal training clients as well.
Great. Well, now, and where can we find you?
You can go to jeanniegfitness.com. That's my website. Or you can just do jeannie.g.fitness on Instagram.
Perfect. And then my very last question is, it's very hard to, as humans in general, we're very social, right? But it's very hard to evolve on our own, make changes or completely on our own, even having kids and raise them just on our own, right? There is always someone there giving us a hand or being an inspiration, or even as I have many virtual mentors. They don't know that, but I follow them, and then they
for sure.
my virtual mentors. So who has been an inspiration for you? Who has done something for you that has helped you to keep moving forward and doing and making all those tough decisions that you were able to make and now succeed?
Right. Right. So I would say my first fitness manager, when I first began personal training, he is by far, like, hands down, the one that got me to where I am. And everything that I learned from him, I have taken with me. And he was such a good motivator for me and a teacher to me too. And I'm forever grateful, because when you find someone that can do that for you, it's life changing. So he would be definitely my biggest. And I tell him that all the time. I'm like, I'm so grateful for you. I know we've known each other for 15 years, but I'm still so grateful from that first day you hired me, because you've changed my life. So he's definitely the biggest. And then my husband has been amazing. He's very supportive. You know, he might make fun of my Instagram videos and stuff as a joke. He's always joking, but he is by far my biggest supporter too. So I appreciate all of his help and motivation, because he's really pushed me in a good way.
Yeah, great. And I think it's so important to acknowledge and remember, right? Like, we are not alone, and even during tough times, that there is always someone there, right?
Always. And especially now with the internet and, you know, you're, like you said, that virtual mentorship, it's there, and you might not have never met, but it's definitely there. And I'm so grateful for all the positive people I've met just through Instagram.
So actually, that wasn't my last question. The real last question.
The real one, okay.
Because in our previous fireside chats, we have been talking a lot about the higher purpose. Like, and what I have discovered is like, the motivation, the changes is because people have a higher purpose that goes beyond just, you know, like one person. So what's your higher purpose?
That's a good question. And I don't know if I've found it yet. I think I'm just now starting to feel like, I think, like I said earlier, you know, I'm just now getting into the groove. I now feel like I am able to find a spot where I'm helping as many people as I can. And, you know, when I post my videos on Instagram, it's like, I know people might not, you know, be commenting, but I'm hoping that a couple people are out there doing my workouts. And if I can help people do that and stay motivated and live a healthier lifestyle, then that is the purpose for me. That is the higher purpose. But I do still think there's still something out there that I'm not quite sure about yet.
Yeah, I think the higher purpose it evolves, right?
Yes.
For some people, it's like, maybe it has been said, but I believe it evolves according to also our own experiences.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is great. And I think, like me, I've either follow people or do their workouts, or but I never let them know. You know, like, I just watch them, but I don't make comments or anything. Yeah. Maybe one like, but sometimes it's just I'm on my own world, and so I can understand
it. But if you did say a little like, great workout, it would probably make them feel so good. So
yeah, actually, thank you. That's a great point, a great reminder that sometimes we just need to be there for, especially if we are taking something from someone else, right? Like for example, a great workout, like, can be.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure
to say that probably there are many more people like me that, you know, even they watch it, but they don't say anything. So
and that's okay. Like, as long as people are doing them and enjoying them, that makes me happy.
No, but you know, it's true. It's like sometimes acknowledgement is just important.
It's good to know that you're actually helping people, for sure.
Yeah. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For being with us, and for, I think my big takeaway, there are different takeaways from this conversation, but probably the biggest one is about, you know, just express to the other person what the other person is doing for me, right? Like,
good.
Even if it's small things, but I think it helps a lot.
It does. It makes people feel good, and I know I appreciate it, and I hope I do that for others too.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all you do
in the future.
Yes, you too. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Bye.
much. Bye.